Did you see it coming?
I knew. Like, I had conversations with Jay. I knew it was coming.
But Jay was like, I'm done.
It ain't working. It wasn't working.
Damn.
It wasn't working. It wasn't working. It was things that was being done from our conversation. This wasn't working out. It wasn't working. It was...
was Cam being a president one of the big things?
No.
No?
I think that was something that was inside one of the big things.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was...
How was your relationship? You and Cam, everything was cool?
Yeah, but we didn't really get a chance to mesh like I wanted to with Cam because it was too much bull.
Okay.
Now, in that situation, I'm affiliated and I'm looking at to me, in my perspective, a Brooklyn Harlem thing unfold. So I gotta mind my business.
Yeah, it ain't none of your business. You out of town.
Yeah, I gotta mind my business. And that's what I think what was happening with Rockefeller.
They expected Beanie Sigel to pick a side in hip-hop's biggest corporate war. Instead, he stayed silent and protected himself while millions of dollars were being fought over behind closed doors. When Rockefeller Records collapsed, it was not just a rap breakup. This was a multi-million-dollar business war involving ownership rights, music publishing, executive control, and future billion-dollar assets. Jay-Z was positioning himself for corporate power. Dame Dash was fighting to keep the entire empire he helped build together. And Beanie Sigel was standing right in the middle, watching everything fall apart in real time. Beanie Sigel just revealed he already knew the split was coming because Jay-Z told him directly it was over. He said the business relationship was no longer working and there were internal moves happening behind the scenes that made the breakup inevitable. Now I'm about to play this clip for y'all, but before I do, I just need y'all to leave y'all thoughts down below in the comment section, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
Sig, let me ask you a question, man. So, when the breakup was happening, was it hard to pick who you was going with when the breakup was happening with Rockefeller?
No, I wasn't even thinking about who I was going to go with. I just didn't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought of it. Like, I knew it was going to happen.
Did you see it coming?
I knew. Like, I had conversations with Jay. I knew it was coming.
But Jay was like, I'm done.
It ain't working. It wasn't working.
Damn.
It wasn't working. It wasn't working. It was things that was being done from our conversation. This wasn't working out. It wasn't working. It was...
was Cam being a president one of the big things?
No.
No?
I think that was something that was inside one of the big things.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was...
How was your relationship? You and Cam, everything was cool?
Yeah, but we didn't really get a chance to mesh like I wanted to with Cam because it was too much bull.
Okay.
Now, in that situation, I'm affiliated and I'm looking at to me, in my perspective, a Brooklyn Harlem thing unfold. So I gotta mind my business.
Yeah, it ain't none of your business. You out of town.
Yeah, I gotta mind my business. And that's what I think what was happening with Rockefeller. Like, it was like in my perspective, my POV, I started seeing like a Brooklyn Harlem thing like happening. But that wasn't my business though.
That's deep.
I feel you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I just think, like, everything happened for a reason. You know what I mean? And it's like what you did, legendary. In the
Chose
books.
not to go with either one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you ain't go with either one of them?
No, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I was gonna go with 50.
What? 50 was trying to sign you?
Yeah.
What type of deal 50 tried to give you?
Something crazy.
What was it?
If I can remember, it was something like, I don't know, probably around like 10 million.
Damn,
like
50.
that. Not me per se to myself, but he had everything structured. I was in the feds with his uncle. So we used to, we had a couple visits. We used to sit at the same time, and his uncle would go out and make sure we sitting next to each other. I could talk to 50. Rockefeller dissolved. So 50 was gonna be my a Beanie Sigel album. It wasn't no more company. If I could have got Freeway, and I think he said Chris and Neef, but it was gonna be a my single album, Freeway album, State Property G-Unit album, me and 50 album. It was like 5 albums, but the deal was structured like probably like 10 million.
That's major. Now, what happened with the clothing line?
Dumb as shit.
How did that come about? What happened with it, man?
How I dissolved.
Yeah, like, because first of all, how it come about? Because it was hot. You had the hidden pockets and like, how did it?
A lot of the pockets and stuff that like that we had on the clothes, we used to do it in the street.
Yeah,
like it was shit we used to do in the street with us. So when I'm thinking of a clothing line, it's like State Property. It was like State Property was the hustler's gear.
Yeah,
like you wore that, you outside on the point, you hustling. You got your pad
like
on,
a Warwick.
You got your pistol on. It was like a uniform. So that's what I thought. I'm like uniform this joint. Like no matter what, every winter you gonna buy a new State Property joint because it's like the Warwick. Like you said, the whole Dickie Carhartt joint, that was State Property. So the pockets, when I seen them doing Rockefeller, I approached Dame. I was like, yo, I want to start a clothing line. And this is what I wanted to be called. I wanted to be like this. And he was showing me stuff, and State Property came about.
How much money did it make? Did it make?
It made a lot of money. I only had 20% of State Property.
Okay, but it made some grip. You got a bag. You was catching.
I was making
checks.
more money off of the clothes than I was off the music.
You was catching crazy checks.
Yeah.
Damn. What was the biggest check you got from this?
I think like we was getting paid every quarter, every 3 months. So I was probably making anywhere between the smallest check that I seen was like 3 and some change, and like the biggest check was probably like in one season I think I had like almost 700.
Man, that ain't bad.
But I was seeing them joints 3s, 4s, 6s, 3s, 4s. These joints popping. Like they coming every 3 months. It's boom. It's there.
You going crazy.
And it was growing. State Property sold more than Rockefeller, and that's them 3s and 6s and them 4. That was my little 20%. That's what I was getting.
Damn, so they played solid with you.
They
though.
was making money. Well, kind of, sort of.
Oh yeah, but listen. All right, but how did it dissolve? What the happened?
So when I went to jail, it gave me time to sit back and think about everything, because it was like, damn, I'm sitting in the cell. I'm like, damn, I fucked up.
Yeah.
So that's my whole outlook was like, damn, I fucked up. Like, cause I'm fighting attempted murder. So even if I got a dub, it's over.
You cook.
Career done.
Sometimes the smartest move in a war is realizing it was never your war to begin with. Beanie Sigel saw something most people missed. He said from his perspective, this started feeling like a Brooklyn versus Harlem situation. Jay-Z represented Brooklyn. Dame Dash and Dipset represented Harlem. And Beanie Sigel was a Philly artist watching 2 New York City power centers fight for control over a multi-million-dollar empire. He understood that jumping into that type of regional and executive conflict could destroy his leverage overnight. And what really stood out was how honest he was about the Cameron and Dipset situation. He said he never even got the chance to build a relationship with Cam the way he wanted to, because there was way too much tension in politics happening behind the scenes. That tells you that there was something deeper than music going on. This was about leadership. This was about ownership. And this was about who would control the future of Rockefeller Records. So let me ask you all this. Do you think Beanie Sigel was right to stay out of the Brooklyn versus Harlem war between Jay-Z and Dame Dash? And do you think things would have turned out differently if State Property and Dipset had fully aligned during the Rockefeller collapse? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.